Look at that. Craft beer mecca. Score! Well, if you're someone that likes craft beer and likes to try a lot of different styles, have we got the place for you. It's Armored Gardens in downtown Davenport. Famous because they have 100 taps, which is, let's all agree, an insane amount of taps. This is Dan.
Hello.
Why 100 taps? I'm going to go ask the big question first. 100 taps seems like a monumental amount.
You know, we started with 75. That was the idea in the business plan. And my business partner said, why don't we just make it an even 100? And that's kind of where we ended up.
Because you knew at some point you're going to have to get to 100, right?
Yeah, you know, I think the one thing I was worried about was rotation of kegs, and we haven't had a problem with that so far.
I mean, you look at places like, we've been to El Bait Shop in Des Moines, and they're always adding more. And every time they add more, I think, are you crazy? And yet somehow they need to add more. So 100, while it might seem crazy the first couple times you come in, it works.
Yeah, it's been great so far.
So this place has been open for a couple of months, Armored Gardens.
Yes.
I gotta say, as soon as I heard that name, I thought, that just sounds like a name that's been around forever. Like, it seems like Armored Gardens is the place you go when you're in Davenport. Yeah. So whoever came up with that name, kudos to you. Explain the name and explain why you wanted to build this place.
The idea really started with creating a place downtown where you could drink outside. I thought this area really lacked an outdoor presence downtown. So it started with the patio, and then I kind of wanted to make a big beer garden type atmosphere, and that's kind of how the whole kind of thing got tied together.
So when we're taping this, we have yet to have a lot of really good days outside. But when you're watching it, boy, the weather's perfect for being outside. That patio, too, is crazy. Talk to me about the design back there and the space and why you've created it the way you have.
Well, it's an enclosed space, so you're not going to have cars driving by you, and it's going to be a nice kind of quiet space. We have music out there with ping pong tables, a putting green, beer pong.
So it seems like the kind of place that you would go to when you're out of town, and you say, how come we don't have stuff like this in the Quad Cities? Dan and his crew have decided to put something like this in the Quad Cities. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It feels like something you would see in like the Twin Cities or downtown Chicago or something.
Yeah, that was the idea.
So I want to talk more about the 100 taps. How in the world are you able to keep track of that much beer? How do we know as consumers? Like, I would assume if you had 100 taps, there's got to be one or two that have been on there for a while.
Well, we actually keep really close track of that. So we have spreadsheet after spreadsheet after spreadsheet to make sure we're cleaning the lines appropriately and also rotating through the kegs in an appropriate amount of time.
What are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking a Green Tree Mango Me Hoppy.
It's an excellent beer. Is this your first time having that beer?
No.
Stone 420, drink by 420 IPA.
And the idea is that we're all supposed to enjoy the Stone 420 by April 20th. It's not a call to do some sort of after-school tomfoolery.
No, absolutely not.
Those were the days, though. Am I right?
Yes.
We're drinking Big Wave Kona.
You're all drinking the same beer.
All are, yes.
Which one is this?
This is Space Dust.
Have you had any of it yet?
No, but my son-in-law says it's good.
Why don't you take a sip and let's see. Let's see. Now, I think one sip is not enough to really make a decision. Go ahead and just take one more pull. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to any beer to make a decision after one sip. All right, that's enough. What do you think?
Very good. I would try it again.
100 handles. There's got to be times where you think it's not enough. Is that silly?
Yeah, I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to get there, especially as we're really figuring out what people like in this area and what's really moving and kind of adjusting the tap lines to those desires.
You guys have been great on social media, kind of letting us know what the top 10 beers are. That seems like every week I see where you're able to kind of tell us what the demand is. And with this computerized system you have, that's got to be pretty easy to figure out. What do people tend to like the most here? What kind of beers do people gravitate towards?
We're seeing a growing trend in sours, in ciders in this area. And people like drinking local. Our number one beer is Front Street Cherry Bomb Blonde, which has been the number one beer for us since we've opened.
And Front Street is just down the block.
Right.
You weren't hesitant to put something that was just down the block on tap here because
Absolutely
you knew that's
not.
what people were going to want when they come here.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's a lot of people too because you're right across from the Blackhawk. Probably some degree of people from out of town that come here.
We get a lot of people from out of town, absolutely, and they seem to really love the place.
Now, the system that you have that keeps track of all the beers. Not only do you keep track with spreadsheets, right? But when you have 100 beers on tap, you've got this system where we can tell on our phones at home not only what beers you have here at Armored Gardens, but we can tell what the price is And we can tell on our phones in real time exactly how much beer is in the keg.
It's really nice. Technology is great.
Walk me through how that works, because that's Star Trek drinking is what that is.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Really, it's just an algorithm. So it's just basically a math equation. They figure out how many servings you can get out of a keg, and they adjust how much you're putting through your point of sale. And that'll basically tell you when it's getting lower or there's a lot less.
So see, for example, the KBS that's on tap now, you would be able to look at your phone and see exactly how much beer is in that keg. Now, I want you to know this. By the time you're watching this, KBS is gone, and I also want you to know I probably had a hand in helping that. If you are someone who only likes IPAs, they've got plenty to choose from. If you like just stouts, they've got plenty to choose from. Or if you're like me and you like them all, I mean, you can't really have them all.
Yep.
I mean, you couldn't really.
Yeah.
It would take a couple of visits to have them all. Has anyone done all 100 yet?
We did. A few weeks into it was someone's birthday, and so they asked for one of everything.
And then they just bought it and kind of...
They started handing them out to strangers, and it was really fun. I hope someone does it again.
Here's a tip. If you're going to do that, do it on a Tuesday, because that's when we're filming this. Tuesdays here at Armored Gardens. Tell them what the deal is.
Half price craft beer, all drafts.
All draft beer, all craft beer. Is half off on Tuesdays. And that's a deal that, as you say, a permanent deal.
Absolutely.
And again, all the information is here on the board. Now, this is very important because there's 100 beers. When you come and order, look at the number next to your beer. Because if you say, yeah, I'll take the Reunion, the sour from Reunion, that could be one of 100 handles. So give the bartender the number. I'm telling you, that's vital. You live up to your end of the deal, and they'll live up to theirs. Well, it's Armored Gardens, downtown Davenport, amazing craft beer bar. Come here on Tuesdays when it's half off. Unbelievable. But a great place on weekends as well. Inside, outside, they've got it all covered.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Hey, appreciate it.
Thanks for building this mecca for us. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're standing in the actual brew area itself.
This is where the brewing will happen.
All the brewing is going to happen here.